Welcome back, dear viewers. Now we watched the live transmission of the official inauguration of the 12th World Urban Forum in Egypt with the attendance of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who said that we should unify efforts to spread peace and stop all conflicts worldwide. The President said that Egypt is always keen to stop violence and escalation in the region. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said that Egypt launched several initiatives to help poor communities and implement new projects, adding that the forum is a good opportunity to exchange views over facing urban challenges. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi earlier announced the opening of the 12th World Urban Forum. And to shed more light on the inauguration ceremony of the forum, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Omar Dahan. He is a sustainable development expert. Good afternoon, Dr. Omar.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here.
So, sir, let's start first by the importance of this forum, and how do you see the importance of such a major UN conference to Egypt's sustainable development?
Well, first of all, in order to understand the importance of the event, we need to understand how urban living and cities and so on are a critical aspect in addressing sustainable development. This is becoming the areas where the majority of the world, including Egypt, lives. And in order to address sustainable development, we need to find sustainable solutions for people living in these urban areas. And Egypt hosting the 12th World Urban Forum demonstrates the leadership and influence that we have in the region, as well as the trying to lead the way in finding more sustainable solutions for urban areas in not just in the region, but around the world.
So, Doctor, how can Egypt benefit from this great gathering of international figures in pushing cooperation with other countries and organizations and make new partnerships in the field of sustainable development?
Well, the benefit can work both ways. On the one hand, Egypt has been gaining very significant experience in urbanization with the various cities and various development projects that it's been working on, and it has been spearheading various initiatives in making more sustainable cities and finding more sustainable solutions, whether it comes from the aspect of, say, energy, when it comes to renewable energy in urban areas, whether it comes to more sustainable sources of water and sanitation, or whether it comes to, in general, just overall finding a more sustainable solution and healthy area for people to live and be. On the flip side, we can also benefit significantly from the international experience in developing these kind of cities, whether it comes from other countries and other institutions that have experience in working in areas like Egypt, a more arid and desert region, regions that are rich in solar and wind power that we can utilize. And having this gathering over gives us the opportunity to develop that kind of cooperation and to start finding more ways to turn the cities and the development projects that we're working on into more sustainable and more practical solutions for the future.
So, sir, over the past years, Egypt has carried out many national projects in different fields, especially in urban development and building new urban cities, projects of housing, water treatment, agriculture, and clean energy. In your opinion, how could Egypt achieve its sustainable development of 2030 vision?
Well, like we said before, when it comes to the cities and the different urban areas in Egypt, it now constitutes a majority of our population. And in order to find good solutions, we need to realize that these areas need to be sustainable. And that means not just in terms of the environment, not just in terms of energy, but in terms of the people living there, being able to find jobs, being able to access key services, whether it comes in the area of health, in education, good jobs, energy, water, sanitation, all of these different aspects, and to provide them in sustainable ways. So Egypt going through these projects and developing these major cities is a good step forward, but we also need to consider that it's not enough to develop the cities, it's not enough to have the buildings and so on. That aspect of making it more organic, making it more sustainable, involving the key stakeholders and the people who either are already living there or the people who will be living there will be critical if we want to achieve our goals for 2030.
So do you see that such a forum conveys a message to the world that Egypt is a figure to be allowed in the field, to be followed rather, in the field of sustainable development?
Absolutely. I think it solidifies an aspect that Egypt is serious and committed. This comes on the heel of COP27 that was just hosted in Sharm el-Sheikh. So these different events, it shows that Egypt, at the very least, is committed to these ideals. It wants to try and implement these, and while we're facing many obstacles in achieving more sustainable solutions, we are committed to the idea, and it's something that we want to promote and develop in different areas of our economy, whether it comes in the area of tourism or construction or energy or many different areas. So we're trying to emphasize this idea that this is a key aspect and strategy and a long-term approach of Egypt. It's not simply a fad that's going to go away. It's not simply a buzzword, but something that we are genuinely trying to move towards and achieve.
So, sir, how do you read the theme of the forum this year, which is it all starts locally, working together for sustainable cities and communities?
Well, it comes down to what I was mentioning before, that achieving a sustainable city has to happen in conjunction with the stakeholders, with the people living there, with the people who want to live there. And then the idea of a more sustainable urban area needs to recognize that we can't have areas that are just built for cars. You know, we are walking together. We need to have cities and areas and so on that are able for pedestrians, that have access for people who are walking or using bicycles. We need to bring back that idea that having everything local, having everything around, whether it's, you know, your house, your shops, your barbers, your small businesses and so on, everyone linked together and connected together is a far more healthy and organic city, as opposed to those very wide areas that are just made for cars and automobiles and so on, and it's much more sterile and so on. So having that local approach, connecting with the stakeholders, and making walkable, breathable, and cyclable cities is a key aspect of sustainable urban development.
So, sir, to what extent this forum is a good opportunity to exchange views over facing urban challenges?
Well, that's really the purpose of the whole forum. It's the idea that each country, each area, and each region has its own individual challenges based on, you know, geography, based on topography, based on, you know, access to water and food and certain critical services. And there's a lot to learn from a lot of the neighboring countries who have similar, you know, kind of more desert regions, and vice versa. There's a lot that these countries can learn from Egypt in terms of how were these different cities developed, what are the successful models that we have that we can try to replicate and build upon in the future. So really that's the whole purpose of the forum, is bringing everyone together, sharing the challenges, sharing the issues, and seeing what can we learn from each other in order to continue on that path of a more sustainable urban environment.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Omar Dahan, Sustainable Development Expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And dear viewers, stay tuned for our special coverage for the opening session of the 12th World Urban Forum with the participation of President Fattah el-Sisi.